years.
I know, it's been too long, man.
Last time I had a conversation with you, you had a gig at I think you're preparing for a gig at K1, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I think that was the VeggieMan Jam a couple of years back.
Yeah. How did that go?
It was good, and we're planning to do it again, you know.
Ah, amazing.
Yeah, man.
So, Ammi The VeggieMan is here on After Hours on Spice. This is not the first time I've had a conversation with him. He's famous in Kenya for doing a lot of things. You're an artist, you're also a farmer, an organic farmer, a consultant, agricultural consultant. You run a society of guys who are very passionate about organic farming. So for folks who do not know you, maybe you can tell us how you got into this whole space of organic farming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, greetings, people. My name is Ammi The VeggieMan. Pleasure to be here with you again, Kev. And organic farming for me, it's one of those make sense type of things where, for me personally, shifting from growing up with my father who did conventional farming and my grandmother who was an organic farmer, for me it was almost like a calling in life that was going to take me on this journey towards not just organic farming but sustainable living and healthy lifestyle practices and so on. But what really pulled me into it was meeting the African Hebrew Israelite community, which is a group of repats of African Americans who resettled in Israel, set up a model community, and it's a prince there by the name of Prince Yadiel. Right. We actually call him the Prince of Agriculture. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, and he was a mentor to me, and I would say I'd give a lot of credit to him in terms of the teachings that I had in organic agriculture, because from there I went out to work in organic agriculture in Ghana, and then I worked at the Ministry of Agriculture in Antigua, my country of birth, and back in Kenya I came in here because of agriculture,
right?
But the music really kept me here. If there's no music, I wouldn't have stayed.
There's a vibrant culture when it comes to music, the arts in general.
In Kenya, yes, Kenya is a lovely place for that.
Yeah. And how did you get the name VeggieMan?
Well, the VeggieMan.
Who gave you that name?
Well, actually, I made a song called The VeggieMan.
Yeah.
And
interesting.
I made a song called The VeggieMan.
Right.
It's a long story. I won't try to tell you the story today because I know we have limited time.
Okay.
But the song goes, "Manawana moo, manawana me, manawana oink, manawana clack 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 clack, the VeggieMan." So, long and short of it, I came here to Kenya,
right,
and connected with Gillard, my really good friend.
Shout out to Gillard.
Yeah, and Gillard introduced me to Giuliani, who on the first introduction I was beatboxing Giuliani, started rapping in Swahili, but Giuliani is the person who actually said, "You're not just Ammi, you are the VeggieMan."
Oh,
so it was actually, I give that credit to Giuliani.
Shout out to Giuliani, yeah. So you're big on, of course, this conversation of organic farming, and have you ever had, meat? Have you ever tasted meat your whole life? Was this how's the journey been of course having veggies only, green foods? Well,
I'll first say condolences to all the family members of those animals that I ate until I was 21 years old.
Come on,
because I was not always a vegan. Up until I was 21 years old, we ate just about everything. Growing up in Antigua, y'all think y'all eat some meat in Kenya?
Oh yeah, they love their meat.
Wait till y'all see Antigua. Oh man,
okay.
Oh man, it's all over. So I grew up in Antigua. It's and it's a very vibrant culture there, but it's a heavy carnivorous culture in Antigua as well. I mean, you have the Rastafarian brothers who I was always guided by, but then in terms of meeting the community in Israel at the time, at 21 years old,
right.
And just really kind of, and one brother started, he just threw some things at me real quick that made sense. Do you know you are the people of the Bible? He said, do you know Africans are the original? Do you know that we're naturally vegans? Do you know Bible, Genesis 1:29 speaks of a vegan diet, and that's what man needed to return to. So there were those things that made sense for me.
Right.
I said, okay, all of it was making too much sense. And then we look at our intestines, you look at our teeth, everything made sense for me. That's why we are vegans,
So when you look at Kenya's history, now that you're here, of course you've done your research and that kind of thing. We have amazing soil. There are a bunch of farmers in Kenya, but we don't really have a vibrant vegan culture. Why do you think that's the case?
Well, in terms of honestly, the some of it was business. And I said the multinationals who created educational institutions worldwide who made sure everyone ate a particular diet so they would end up being consumers in the pharmacy.
Right.
So that's one. Yeah. But in Africa,
right.
we know from the hunters and whatnot and so on and so forth, there used to be some level of carnivorism, if I say it like that.
Correct.
But carnivorism was multiplied and really marketed well, especially with the fast food industry. But it kept people sick. So then you look at people being in this position that you're constantly having to get something from the pharmacy. So it works hand in hand. And that's part and parcel of why you find so many people today, not just in Kenya, but in different parts of the world, who are on heavy carnivorous diets because the educational institution said that you need to have this type of protein.
Right.
And that was well marketed, well infused, and with culture and everything. So now where people used to be consume a little bit of meat, they think, no, I got some money, I'm going to consume a lot. Then you have the people in the villages who eating a little bit of meat, living much longer than the people in the cities who are eating a lot of meat.
Isn't it amazing? Like when you put it like that, it makes a lot of sense, right? The system is the one that dictates that lifestyle.
Yeah.
But what are some of the misconceptions about organic produce that you've encountered in Kenya?
Well, one, I would just for clarity, I would say guys think organic and veganism is one, but they're actually not, because veganism means that you eat a plant-based diet.
Right.
Now, organic, in terms of organic agriculture, is where you're farming food with natural fertilizers and compost, and you're using natural pests and disease control that are plant-based.
That's right.
That are not deadly. Because if I could jump in and just say, Africa's been a dumping ground for deadly chemicals. And in the commercial agriculture space, you have quite a bit of deadly chemicals being used in the industry. And these are responsible for quite a large number of the cancers and different, because most of the products are carcinogenic. And quite a number of some of the autoimmune responses people are getting are directly related to the chemicals that are being used in the agriculture space.
Yeah.
So that's one. But in terms of the misconception of like veganism now, guys mostly think if you're a vegan, you only eat salad.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, guys. Even Kenya, you're 80% vegan.
Right.
If I start naming the list of greens and the list of grains and the list of products, whether you're eating skuma, manago, duma, even matoke, ugali, all of it is vegan.
Yeah. So when you talk about, because I've read about your work, I've observed some of the things that you do, the conversations that you've had online. When you talk about feeding the people while healing the earth, right? What does that look like in practice on a farm?
On a farm, it means
on your farm even.
Well, I would give you a perfect example. If you're constantly taking from something, like someone taking from you, Kev, if someone keeps coming knocking on your door and they keep taking, they never bring anything back. At a point when they start knocking, you leave me inside saying, hey, nobody's home. And that's the and this is kind of, I would use a biblical reference when the Creator said that the earth shall not yield its increase for you because of your sins. I'm saying once again, and I always say this, conventional farming is sinful because to constantly kill the earth, to kill the soil, and just constantly take from it and never give anything back is cruel. So healing the earth simply means that you're putting your organic minerals and nutrients back into the soil. You're not just taking, you're giving back.
Yeah.
So if you take a lot of nitrogen this season, you plant some legumes, some whatever, and do some other products to put nitrogen back. So you try to replace some of what you've taken.
Yeah.
If you keep it one-sided, the earth is not going to yield its increase to you.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, fascinating the way you put it like that. So in relation to the community that you've built, and also when we talk about wellness and the mind, how does it relate? What sort of impact are you creating within your community, and in relation to wellness, body, mind, and soul?
Well, I would say this. Well, first, let me not take all that credit because I'm not like individually building a community.
Obviously.
I'm a part of a community, and what we're doing here in Kenya is that we're working and we understand our responsibility, and our responsibility from God is to be guardians. And if we are guardians of creation, it means we're supposed to protect it, preserve it, enhance it, and we do that not just for the earth but for people. So in terms of giving people a holistic concept of life, it's not just about eating a plant-based food, because you can eat some processed stuff and eat some, whether it's pasta or some starch and stuff all day, and you not be healthy. Calling yourself a vegan or calling yourself plant-based,
right.
or just mock chicken, mock duck, mock this, mock that. That's veganism means, one, that you're eating whole foods.
Right.
You're eating plants because there are 102 minerals in the soil, and you get those 102 minerals from a plant source directly that can be assimilated into the human body through your digestive tract. Yeah. And likewise, now, apart from just consuming, we need to exercise. We need to drink water.
Correct.
And your mind needs to be healthy. You need to have positive thoughts and think. Thinking about your brother or your sister. Yeah. If I sum it up in one statement, is do unto others as you like them do to you. Love your brother your brother like yourself.
Yeah.
So when you think from that perspective, you're not thinking so much with hate and grudge and envy and things constantly, because those are low vibrational frequencies of thinking. And we're not just focusing just in terms of what we do agriculturally, but also what we do holistically in terms of changing the vibrational frequency of humanity.
That's
so we're
right.
working to increase people's vibration so that their thoughts go into a heavenly realm. And then we can say a real prayer like, let thy will be done in heaven as it is on earth.
I love it. So, Ammi, you know, when you're speaking, you're opening up my senses, and I'm thinking, you know, when you look at the psyche of Kenyan people, when you watch the news, I don't think you watch the news that much, but
I actually do.
You do?
I tune in here. I tune in here.
Yeah, okay. Because the reason I made that comment about watching the news is because I know a lot of people usually think the news is very negative. People say the psyche of Kenyans is very, I don't want to say hopeless, but it's very negative. You know, we have a lot of negative energy right now. There's a sense of apathy. It's very political and that kind of thing. And so how important is it for us to have a holistic approach when we are working on ourselves, when we are purifying our minds and our souls and our bodies? And is it really possible? I know it starts even with the food that we eat, how we go about the farming, the social dynamics, how we engage with people around. From your experience when you're engaging with Kenyans, how would you define the psyche of Kenyan people?
Well, it varies. It varies because first of all, coming in first as an outsider coming in, all I see is love and the hospitality, whether it's Kikuyu, Masai, Kamba, Luo, Luya, whoever. The hospitality is like top level, like among the best in the world.
That's what they say, yeah.
It's true. Kenyans are...
Yeah.
I mean, they welcome...
We're amazing people.
Yeah, y'all welcome me home. Like, I feel like, okay, I'm home. This is... You don't want to go anywhere else. If you ask me about the psyche, I say some of the psyche, if you talk about any psychological issue, I think it mostly happens on the roads when people drive.
Oh, there's so much rage.
Man, road rage is madness. I said, okay, this cannot be the same people who are so loving and welcome me home and cook me ugali and all that. Kill each other on the road. You know, but in terms of, I don't think what you're dealing with in terms of the social dynamic is unique to Kenya, but even some of the political dynamics is not unique to Kenya.
Oh,
I think the entire earth is going through a shift. If you look at the news, look at the news, whether it's in Israel, in the US, in France, you look around the world and you see there's a lot of social, political tension globally. So that's not unique to just Kenya.
It's not unique to Kenya.
No, it's not a Kenyan story. And because many times guys can pick out a particular group of people and make them feel so bad, like you're the only ones. And so what you're experiencing in some of what you may consider some of the negative thinking is actually a reaction to what is taken, to the pressures that people are put under.
That's the word, pressures.
So people are reacting to pressure.
Yeah.
So then if you push something into a corner and then it responds, you don't necessarily say, well, you're so bad because you reacted like this.
Yeah.
So then we have to take a holistic look at everything. And I say holistic look in terms of even the concept of life that we were given.
Right.
Because Kev, we were given this concept. It's like they put you in a horse and beat and say go. And I say from the colonial educational system all the way up, they put you in a horse and go. So we going after his goals, his dreams, his aspirations, everything that he defined for us was success. African success was not based on a European model. And until we get back to an African model of what success look like and what social equality and so on look like, then we're going to it's going to constantly be it's a rotation. It's like life is rotating on the axis of a lie because it's not based on our principles that were based on godly roots. Because there were some godly roots in African cultures, and when we shifted from African cultures and began to embrace other people's cultures and take those as if they're ours and try to apply them to an African people in an African country, then you're going to have it's going to be chaotic.
Yeah, there's a sense of confusion. People lack identity almost, and it's very scary. Now, moving forward, another thing that's creating anxiety is the climate change in the country. I just read an interesting article a couple of days ago, and they're talking about this whole climate change migration, where we have Kenyans from the north who are migrating because they have to survive. They feel like the climate change, the weather conditions are very extreme, right? So how does your approach within your society and some of the practices that you go about agriculture, how do you help build resilience amongst farmers in the long run?
Well, the thing is, we always train our farmers to look at generational impact. So whatever you're doing, just thinking about trying to get a quick harvest today or get some quick returns right this second, you're looking at what you're going to do to, one, regenerate the soil, regenerate and protect the environment. By one, planting trees, and two, making sure that whatever you're putting into the soil, be conscious it's going to leak into aquifers.
Right.
So then rather than poisoning the waters, heal it. So we teach our people how to compost, how to reuse some of the material that they have. We do intercropping, we do decent crop rotations, which are not depleting the land of its nutrients.
Right.
And then in terms of encouraging our people to stop cutting so many trees.
Okay, talk about that.
Yeah, because many times guys just go cut and clear. And if you look at the Amazon as an example, we don't need to do that to Africa, what they're doing to the Amazon right now.
Yeah.
Or we need to stop doing it, let me say it like that. Because the deforestry is one of the major, and bless her soul, one Gary Matara and her efforts and what she put into preserving the forest and the life of nature in Kenya in general. It was monumental.
Right.
And these are some of the things we cannot forget. So when we look back at those before us and consider the reason why, if there was no one Gary Matara, there might have been even a more rapid decline in some of the climate havocs that we're having right this second.
I saw the president and, of course, the government have an ambitious goal of planting about 15 billion trees. Right? Do you think it's achievable? But they say, I think, by 2032.
I think it's necessary.
Oh, interesting.
I think it's necessary to go after that. We have a philosophy, we say, shoot for the moon. If you miss, you land among the stars, You land among the stars somewhere.
Exactly.
So in terms of what the president and what they're setting to do with that, I think that's I give them credit for that. I like the fact that they're going in that direction.
Totally. Yeah. Have you been planting trees in your farm?
In our farm, absolutely. Yeah. We plant everything. I won't say just trees, because we have several farms in close to what do you call it, Kibwesi? And on that side, and we have a project we're working on right now in Limuru,
nice.
and one right here in Gashia. But these are more horticulture crops.
Right.
Awesome. I'm not a Kenyan, so I'm not balling with the big chunks of land.
You're a Kenyan.
Man, but you also
don't do that.
Every Kenyan has land, and then they come to Nairobi and leave them. I said, man, give me the land. Let me go up country, and you keep Nairobi.
So you feel like we don't really utilize our land as per our full potential?
Absolutely not. No, that's a whole no apology. I love my people. I love my Kenyan brothers and sisters. But I say, guys, go back up country and utilize your lands,
right.
because other folks come and look at it and they see the value of what you have.
Yeah.
Like when I look at Kenyans, I say, man, you guys so rich.
Yeah.
You guys so rich. You have terrarium and stuff just growing in the sidewalk, growing everywhere.
Yeah,
some places you can pay at least $5 to $6, $7 for that little bit of terrarium.
I love it, man. I love my kenyeji. We call it kenyeji.
Yeah.
I always try and eat kenyeji.
Yeah.
So let's take a short break, man. Ammi The VeggieMan is right here. We're talking all things the Green Revolution 2.0, growing wellness from the ground up. We're coming back with more conversations. And right now it's 19 minutes to 8. Rhythm of the Night by DeBarge Tunakazi.
You are tuned in to Nairobi's #1 soul station.